okay. I'm a little nervous. I'm totally out of my comfort zone. I was just saying earlier that I'm used to talking to really happy people at night with a really spicy drinks, I guess. And or working with elementary students. So I'm definitely out of my comfort zone, but I'm always game for anything. Well, thank you so much for having me. And again, how are we doing? That's right. Well, when they asked me if I uh, would speak, and then they told me what the theme was, I immediately said yes. Because that word, like many words, they hold so much weight, right? I've been called spicy many, many times. Has anyone here been called spicy? Spicy, spicy, spicy? And how did that make you feel? Did it make you feel sad, happy, confused? Okay. Encouraged. Okay, okay. Well, I want you to marinate on that because I really want to get some responses on that. Because I'm curious, because I have my own spicy story. Get into that. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. So my name is Persia or Persia. Either one works. Trust me. I've been called way worse. That's very true. Who I am is a trans Latina. Well, the Spanish was coming out. Trans Latina. And what I do is drag and teach. I was born and raised in South Central LA, and I've been living in San Francisco for the past 19 years. I know I really do love this city. I always say that South Central LA is my hometown, but really the city that raised me as an adult and allowed me to be who I am today is San Francisco. Yes, the Bay. Amazing things happen here. And you know what? The world takes notice, but then they don't give us the recognition. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Especially things from the queer community, like the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. A lot of amazing organizations have started here in San Francisco and in the Bay Area, and then have flourished around the world. But yet, we don't get the recognition. It's LA, New York. Even though I'm from LA. But anyway, I love San Francisco so much. Well, during the day, I work at a children's after-school arts program as a head teacher for first grade. Been there for about 10, okay, more than 10, but we'll just leave it at 10. And in our program, we learn and focus on mindfulness and social justice through art. Yeah, we do a lot of art. We build structures with popsicle sticks. And one of my coworkers calls me Persia, the drag queen builder, because I literally build a lot of things with popsicle sticks. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see there's like a bridge, there's a tower, any opportunity. I love popsicle sticks. Um, and what else? What else? Yes. We learn about the power of storytelling and language, the importance of looking beyond our periphery in order to be kind to one another, and much, much more. I really do love the organization that I've been a part of for so long. And we have some great news, but I can't say it right now because then I'll get in trouble. But I'll just say pride. And then at night, I work with the big children, the adults. I host drag events, I perform, I lip sync for my life, and sometimes, just sometimes, I teach. And I laugh because my transitions are, getting there. But you know what? I get away with it because I'm always like, the only truth that matters is mine. And then it was like, I'm perfect opportunity. Switch the song. See, you gotta be on your toes. Stay on your toes. Uh, so funny. Anyway, um, eh, in addition to all of that, I'm a very busy person. I pretty much work every day. I know I look gorgeous and hot, but I'm tired. And yeah, these are my sensible heels. I do a lot, but in addition, I am a founding member of the internationally acclaimed Drag Story Hour. Yes. Amazing, amazing. I'm the first performer to be part of this program. While I am completely aware that there have been Drag Story Hour events before this program, this is the first program of its kind. And it began here. Where? That's right. It was December 15th in the Castro, to be exact. Radar Productions, led by Michelle T, Virgie Tobar, and Julian Delgado, approached me about a new program called Drag Queen Story Hour. We later got rid of the queen to be more inclusive because there's drag kings, there's drag its, there's drag, all kinds of drag performers, because it doesn't matter how you identify, it's about bringing a character to life. Uh, but I'll get into that a little later. So yeah, so we got rid of the queen part to be more inclusive. So they knew me. These folks from Radar Production knew me from the drag scene, but they also knew me from my, and I'm gonna age myself, my Facebook posts, my updates. I know. I was already told about 6 years ago that people who use Facebook are old from one of my students. So I get it, I get it. But I would always write like little funny like things that would happen during the day, and um and so they already knew, they already worked with children during the day, and then at night I work with the big children. So when they came up with this Drag Story Hour program, they were like, "Girl, you're fingerprinted, you're good. You can work a stage. Just read a book to children." And I was like, I really didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I agreed. And for the very first time, seriously, I was so scared. For the very first time, my life as an educator and my life as a drag queen were merging. And that was so scary. That was so scary because all my life, never told directly to my face, but it was always implied that I needed to tone down my queerness. And that's before I transitioned too. I always joke that I'm more masculine now than before. But yeah, all my life, they've been like, "Oh, can you do this? Can you not wear that? This is more school appropriate." Oh, that's my favorite line. This is more school appropriate because I was wearing some rainbow thing. So anyway, so it was the first time my worlds were together. And that's scary. And and all of a sudden, here I am reading books in drag to some of my students and their families. I was freaking out. I was freaking out. But you know what? I was like, I'm game for anything. Let's do this. So there I was reading. I'm this little bear. Oh. Um, but for the very first time, I didn't have to hide anything. I was proud to be a drag queen. I was proud to be an educator. And as one of my students' parents who were there said to me while hugging me, "Thank you for being yourself. All I want for my kid is for them to be themselves. And by you being yourself, you let my kid know that they can pursue anything they want. Thank you for leading by example." And if you know me, many of you don't, I cry like that. I'm surprised I didn't start crying reading that right now. But it was so touching because again, for all my life, I've been told, whether it be at work or just regular life, that you are too queer. That I could not be myself. And to be in a space where both my drag persona, my queerness, and my teacherness all together and being celebrated was really shocking to me. I was like, but beautiful, beautiful for sure. And yes, I did start crying after once everyone left. Um, I didn't know it at the time, but this program would change my life. This is why I say I'm the luckiest drag queen in the world, because I get to do everything I love. I get to merge my love of the classroom with my love of drag. Now, fast forward to a year and a half ago. Things are going great. I'm doing drag story hours at schools, senior centers, museums, libraries, hospitals, universities, and beyond. I'm beginning to incorporate art projects with my drag story hour. I am feeling great and doing great when suddenly the right wing media decided that we are the problem and things, as you all know, take a nasty turn. A program that brings joy, self acceptance, mindfulness, and love was turned into a political tool. I, with my drag story hour siblings, became headline news. We had been a fun and loving program that had been turned into a media circus. Our drag, our program had been overly simplified. They chose to focus only on narrow aspects of drag, reducing it to sexualization and ignoring its depth and diversity. They ignored the truth essence of drag, which is emphasizing its artistic and inclusive nature. It was sad, dangerous, and out of control. It really was. Thank God for therapy. Uh, as an educator, I tailor my teachings or projects to different age groups. Just as education needs to adapt to pursue the understanding and the needs of different learners, so does drag performance to suit its audiences. Isn't that obvious though? Not for some people. Drag is indeed an art form, rich with creativity, storytelling, and character development. It transcends simplistic labels and stereotypes. I do believe that drag story hour performers are like moving murals. We read stories that are often not told in the mainstream media while wearing larger than life outfits, makeup, wigs, hair, and sometimes even nails. Like murals, drag is an art form that tells stories that seek to engage the mind. So at that moment, we became inhuman in the eyes of those folks, Fox News folks, right wing folks, and many other folks. And that allowed them the freedom to hate and threaten us. It was a very stressful time. As a visibly trans person, I, like many other trans folks, encounter daily, yes, I said it, daily, even here in San Francisco, micro and not so microaggressions. And suddenly those aggressions were amplified and televised. Oh, yeah. And today, but I carried on with the support of my friends and family. And today I stand here as a very hardworking, strong, trans, Latina storyteller. Oh, thank you. Storyteller, drag performer, educator. I was going to put DJ in there, but I'm still working on that. You only want people to be mindful. I do believe that storytelling can bring us together, because if I knew your story, your story, your story, your story, your story, and you knew my story, my story, my story, my story, and then if City Hall knew all of our stories in our government too, we would be a lot more kind to one another, and we would vote a lot more mindfully too. Which brings me back to the word spicy. So that was a little bit about me, or maybe a lot. So again, I'm going to ask, how many people have been called spicy? So what's your definition of spicy? Just shout it out. It's fine. Attitude. What else? Hot. What else? Labor. What else? Aggressive. Yes. Well, according to Webster, Spicy is an adjective. And it has several, it says here, definitions. One, having the quality, flavor, or fragrance of spice. Two, producing or abounding in spices, lively, spirited, piquant, racy. But what does Urban Dictionary say? Because sometimes you gotta look, because you gotta know, right? So according to Urban Dictionary, definitions are, but not limited to, hot, sexy, sarcastic, sassy. And they provide an example. Are you ready? It says guy, because of course. That chick is spicy. Dang. The word spicy can carry different meanings and connotations depending on context and intent. While some may use it in a playful or admiring way, others might employ it in a more stereotypical or even derogatory manner. It's essential to consider the nuances of language and how words can impact individuals and communities. I've been called a spicy Latina many times, and it seems innocuous, but being called a spicy Latina reduces me to a stereotype and my complex identities to simplistic, exoticized characteristics. It is imperative that we recognize the power of language and the importance of using their words respectfully and responsibly. I also tell my students that words carry weight, and when used correctly can bring love, joy, and happiness. But when used incorrectly, well, hate tends to spread really fast. Not really? I'm almost out of time. Sorry. So I invite you to think about words that promote awareness and thoughtful language. Because at the end of the day, we want to create a more inclusive and respectful environment where everyone feels seen, loved, and respected, which is what we do at Drag Story Hour. I was going to read a letter that I got from an elementary school in the Mission. I was asked to be their grand marshal because of all the work that I do. And it was so special that I get recognized at such a local level, because we had this conversation earlier that sometimes we think that we need to go big to make an impact, but sometimes it really just takes one person. So use spicy carefully and mindfully, especially when told towards a person. And I was going to read, you know what, and I am going to read this because this is one of my favorite books. And I put some of my favorite books up here that I like to read during Drag Story Hour. And there are all kinds of books. They're about art, being cranky, my gender, being bilingual, and how to use language in a gender inclusive manner in Spanish. But I want to read this because this is my favorite book. Bodies are cool and I'm gonna need help. So when I say bodies are what, you're gonna say? And you should check it out if you wanna check it out after this. But I'm gonna end with this. The end. I'm gonna end with the last page because it's so important. I really love this book because really right now, we are so divided in so many ways and so many things. But we have more in common that we don't. So I love reading this book because it reminds us it's so simple. All bodies are cool. So you're gonna help me at the end. You're gonna say cool really loud, okay? Because one of my favorite things about my jobs is that I get to be loud in spaces that I'm normally not allowed to. So at museums, I always tell the kids, and they're like, so let's pretend that we're not here. Then we're out in the open, and you wanna yell to our siblings over in Oakland. So get into that mindset. So my body, your body, every different kind of body, All of them. Zoom. All of them are good bodies because bodies are what? Thank you so much.